Hello Leo, this is your September forecast for 2017, and we have the eclipses that took place there in August, and you're probably feeling it. If you're listening early to this forecast, you might still yet not have experienced the solar eclipse, but we'll feel the aftermath of it when we get into September, once we hit that first full moon and the first new moon of September. We should already start seeing things coming to the surface of it. So let's start out with the moons this month, which will be September 6th. We got the full moon, 13 degrees in Pisces, and for you, Leo, that will be in your 8th house for shared resources. That could be money you have with your partner. It could also be any kind of loans. It could be investments, commissions, royalties, that kind of thing. So something should definitely be illuminated here, and it is also conjunct Neptune, which pretty much owns your visions, your hopes, your dreams. And so for those of you maybe that you've been applying for a loan, this could come through for you on September 6th. And then we have the new moon on September 20th, which will fall into your second house of money and income. So new beginnings, as always, with any new moon, and of course that solar new moon eclipse there in August will be showing the first present, the first expansion of what it's bringing to you in your financial income sector. All right, so I think you're going to be loving it, and it will show up there at 27 degrees of Virgo. But this month, most of the focus for you, Leo, will be the first house. That's you, your personality. You're radiant, you're shining, right? So we have both Venus, Mars, and Mercury in your first house. Venus very close to the ascendants. Now, we love, love, love when we have Venus in this position. Why? Because it's the ascendants, the rising sign in your chart, where people meet you first. That's the impression they get of you. So what they're going to get is all this love from your heart coming out, radiant, shining, and of course, being a Leo, you have that charm from the get-go. So it's kind of like a double whammy type thing here for you. Venus will be supporting you in the things that you want for you this month, and so you want to really enjoy it as long as it lasts in its transit. It will be moving into the sign of Virgo September 19th, which will be then into your financial house. Then Venus will be looking at, crunching all those numbers, getting all ducks set in a row there for you. And of course we know the sun is there, and also we have that new moon, which is going to heighten this area as well. So you have a lot of things going on between you, yourself, what you want, what you desire. Money is coming in, and Mars also being in this first house. So whenever we have Venus and Mars traveling in the same sign, we get a lot of action. There's a lot of love and dynamics going on. Mars being in your sign, which it has been here in August as well, well, that gives you even more energy. You're really rocking it right now, Leo, and Mars will be continuous in your sign until that of September 5th. But then he moves into your second house for money as well, your income streams, that is. So Mars will already carve the path until Venus comes along on the 19th. So together they're really going to be setting up the rest of September for you, where you could come to improve this area of your life. Now that means if you're waiting for a raise, this might be a great time to get so. If you are wanting or needing to negotiate maybe a raise, you will have the energy, the confidence to come forward and be able to state your mind. But for others, it might just be a secondary income that can take a boost. You have Saturn in your 5th house, which now at this point will be moving forward. So this is a great time either to start a new business or also to see that it can start expanding and taking on some root. However, though, just keep in mind that Mercury is retrograde here as we start off the month of September, but will go direct there on September 5th, the same day that Mars is going or moving signs into your second house. Excuse me. So if you're starting anything new, I would wait to after September 5th, but anything then that is money related, income related, this would be a great time to do so. Know that you have a lot of support coming from that Saturn 5th house of creativity and self-expression to really back you on what it is you now believe as far as your own self-worth. We always got to think about the 2nd house also as self-worth, right? Not just the money house. And the sun, of course, is there when we start off the month, so you get a lot of things going in this area. And when we talk about money and income, sure, it's money that you can receive, but also beware though, it could also be money going out, money being spent. But most likely it will be spent on those things that you wish, you desire, want, and need. So it's not necessarily any unexpected expenses, though that can be true on September 2nd, when Mars and Uranus is always that wild card that we don't fully know before it hits, right? But it's change, it's that unexpected surprise. However, though, Uranus is in a good aspect to Mars right now, so that could be unexpected money coming in, all right? So circle that on your calendar. Mars in your 2nd house, Uranus in your, let me see, which house is that in there for you? That is your 9th house. And so the 9th house for you, pretty much, I feel, has to do with travel, long distance travel. You might buy a ticket, you might hear news of somebody coming to you for a visit, perhaps, but it's also higher education, so there might be something in that sense. There could be an expense, or maybe a course that you would like to take, anything of that nature, but you're really driven, you're really inspired as we start off top of the month. September 3rd, we have Mars and Mercury. So that's you, your communication, the way you're thinking. Mercury's still retrograde, so you might encounter a situation where you might need to double think, meaning think back over a situation of the past and find some resolve so that you can turn it, kick it into action, and then move forward. On the 9th, we have the Sun and Pluto trine. The Sun being you, it is in your 2nd house for money, income, self-worth. And then Pluto is always that point of transformation in our charts. And for you, your Pluto is in your 6th house for work or your day-to-day routine. So you might be looking at, what is it worth, this routine that I'm doing? Is it something I want to continue to do, or do I want to change it up? Pluto can create change, even though Uranus is one that changes that need for change. But Pluto is more like, if you have followed, say, a certain routine for a while and it really did you any good, then that's great. If it still holds value for you, you'll probably continue. It will only look at those things where you feel that you fell in a rut, it's not doing much for you anymore. Then you have the power of Pluto to take that, turn it around, and find a new course of direction that really can enhance your day-to-day experience. Just so we don't get stuck in ruts where routine just eats up our schedule and we have no more room to do anything else because we're so to it. So this is a great day for you to kind of look at that. We have on the 12th Saturn and Venus, they're trine, and Venus is those things that you love, all right? Whether it is from the heart in a romantic relationship or it's just those things you love to do. Saturn giving you this grounding of security, down-to-earth type energy. And like I said too, Saturn's got your back right now as far as the things that you desire, the things that you want. I'm feeling that when we get into this trine, which is pretty much 21 degrees there in Leo, you're still in the 1st house, okay? So it's things that you want and desire. I feel this is the day that you can commit to something of that nature. It has a long-term type signature attached to it. So if you're starting out something today, wow, this is great. Anything related to the arts or self-expression. Arts is many things, you know, it could be singing, dancing, sculpting, painting, whatever, right? But the 5th house is also the businesses that we own or hobbies that we can turn into business. Right now, it is something really, really magnificent. Especially then when we get to the 15th, when again, Venus here is now sextile Jupiter. And remember Jupiter being so expansive. I mean, it is humongous, it is generous, it's abundant. So we're talking about abundance of joy of Venus, emotions, feelings from the heart, but it's also both money planets. So this is a great day on the 15th. You want to circle that on your calendar as well and see what this is going to do for you. So right there between the 9th to the 15th, I'd even add in 16th, 17th, because we've got even more aspects coming in to support this new trend for you, Leo. And that is on the 16th when Mercury, which is your communication, really ties the knot here in a conjunction with Mars. Now, so what would that do? Mercury's how and what we communicate. Mars is the action that we dedicate to, commit to, and it's action prone. Mars now being in your, hasn't moved into, yeah, it's already in your second house for income. So I feel any kind of financial talk that you might have today, this would be the perfect day to go ask for a raise, or at least come into some kind of negotiation which can behoove you and your income sector. And then on the 17th, we've had a couple of wonderful aspects here with Venus. First to Saturn, then to Jupiter, and now here it comes with a trine to Uranus. Uranus will always, always think outside of the box. It's very unconventional. It's not traditional like Saturn is. Like a Venus-Saturn is conditional beauty. Uranus and Venus is unconditional beauty, thinking outside of the box, expressing yourself outside of the box. This could be a day here where I feel that you could, in so many ways, not just surprise others, you might even surprise yourself, put it that way. And in it, I'm sensing that you're so ready right now to receive a signal, an insight, a message from the universe. Pay attention to your dreams at this time. I think whatever it is now that you have been positioning yourself towards up to this point throughout September, then here we go. Venus is ready to knock on the second door, the second house door that is, for also receiving more money. So Mars has been charting out that, the Sun has been there, and now Venus is coming into this area, and I feel that, yeah, you could bring something to the world, I believe, that could be of insight, heightened awareness. Anything spiritual at this time too, Leo, I feel it could be enhancing your life experience. Remember, you've got this growth going on there with Uranus in your 9th house, right? And so it's like unlocking and unleashing the joy of love that you hold in your heart chakra, heart center. On the 19th and onwards throughout the month. Up to that point, everything is beautiful, it's wonderful, it's like you're cruising down this road. Now we want to take a little step back and be a little bit more, should I say, the observer rather than the participant. And I'll tell you why. We have a lot of Neptunian qualities coming in from the 19th. And Neptune is wonderful when it is on its higher frequency, which is hope and love and trust and faith and vision and spiritual openness of our crown, where we can see very clearly. But whenever Neptune is squared or opposed, we get the flip side of Neptune, and then we're not really seeing as clear as we would like to. Sometimes, you know, when we hear that something is too good to be true, it probably is, right? This is when we're a little clouded in our vision, and it doesn't allow us to really see what truth is before it's too late. So if anything is coming your direction where you might go, wow, this is fantastic, you do your research, and it could end up being fantastic. But the caution is when Neptune is opposed to Mercury on the 19th. So you might hear about it first, or you might come across something and you go, wow, this is great. But there's that little voice, listen to the little voice, right? And then on the 24th, Mars is going to be opposing Neptune, where Mercury was. And so again, I'm feeling this for you, Leo, will be money-related matters because it's happening between your 2nd and 8th house. And so for that reason, I'd be very cautious to sign anything. Now, Mercury is direct, so I mean, you're good on that note. But because of the opposition, you might want to really, really read the fine print if you're signing a lease or a contract or whatnot, that you know what you're signing for, just so you don't get caught in it. Especially because this is money related. And then on the 27th, Jupiter is going to be opposed to Uranus, and then that might be the awareness of, oh my God, what just happened? I signed for this, and then you might see it, but it could be difficult to redo it because Mercury on the Venus, I'm sorry, on the 29th is also now opposing Neptune. So if you've already signed, then you might still be committed to it because you're already accepted. So anything that has to do with money from the 19th throughout the end of this month, I would say be careful, but you know, don't be worried. There's nothing to fear. It's just that things might seem so fantastic, right? And so I would wait into October, and then you can see whether you still want this, or if this whatever deal that's being presented to you is still in the okay. We just need to eliminate whatever that Neptunian energy can be. And this isn't just for you, Leo. It goes for all of us. We're all going to be having these aspects. But for you personally, it's the 2nd and 8th house. That has to do with your money versus money for others. So investments. Look, for example, it wouldn't be a great time to invest at this time because maybe the market is going to be fluctuating. And yeah. So hang in there to October. Now, what else do we have? I mentioned Mars going into Virgo, your 2nd house, September 5th. Venus moving into Virgo, September 19th. When we're talking about dates, what I've made for you this month, Leo, and you'll find it here when you hit the I button or the information button up above, but I've posted the whole month of September on a calendar so you can see it. And that calendar, I will talk you through it. It's a whole hour of information of what you can expect in September on a day-to-day basis, where we're following also the aspects to the moon. Because when I do your monthly readings like I am here right now, it's only the major planets and their transits that I speak about. There would be no time to do all of yours 12 signs, right, with the lunar transit. So it's a good reference if you want to know what the energies are for tomorrow, the next day, or you've got an important date coming up. It's easily accessible. You just hit that I button, it will take you straight there. And also the moon is how we feel, how our mood is, right? Because moon is always our reaction as well. So I think that could be very helpful as a tool for you, and at least I'm just doing it now for September. We'll see if I do one for the following month as well, but at least I wanted to mention that to you. So Leo, this is what we have for you in September. I'll see you.